How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 127 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, my special guest in the Zoom building right here. My guy can spit. All right,
my guy.
He is very in the lane of rapping with that golden era sound, and doing the dope style of the golden era. It's just refreshing to hear this dude bring that sound to life and remind people just how dope that shit is and how it will never die. And just really dope to see the homie from Boston making it happen. I got Ishan in this.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Means a lot, my brother. Great to see you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You know, one day at a time with it, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, bro. I'm feeling great. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, man. You know, I've been, seeing your stuff on the gram, just seeing how you're moving, bro. And it's just really impressive to say the least, yo. It's really impressive to see that, that hustle, keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
I can definitely tell it seems that you've been, practicing for a long time, doing it a while. For the people that aren't aware of who Ishan is, for the listeners who aren't aware of, what you do and how you get down, I guess talk to the people about what made you decide to push music and, pursue that as your passion.
All right, word. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Ishan. I'm a rapper. I'm a producer from Boston. 23. I've been at this music shit for a while. It's been a dope ride. So I got inspired. I've always just like loved music. Like one thing I talk about a lot is that so I'm the youngest of three, right? So my oldest sister, she goes to Columbia for music. Music has always been what she did. So growing up, down the hallway, I'd hear her playing the violin. I hear her singing. I'd always been inspired by that. And then every time I got in the car with my dad, he was always bumping something. So music definitely took a hold of me really, really early on. But hip hop was something I fell in love with when I was pretty young. If you're from the Boston area, 94.5, 96.9, those radio stations. My dad used to play 94.5, but this is back in probably 05. So Chris Brown was popping, Usher was popping, a lot of these dope, it was R&B because my sister would sing, so I wanted to sing. So I would listen to the R&Bs and a little bit of rap, but hip hop, that sphere. So then that is when I started really falling in love with the sound of hip hop. And I started singing and I started imitating Chris Brown. I was trying to get into the rap, I was trying to get into it.
Going crazy with the dance moves?
Yeah, I was trying, but we can't. I'm not gonna say I'm no Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? But I was trying to break it down back then. But
yeah.
But so then I was singing, and then around the time I was 12, puberty hit. I lost my singing voice. I couldn't sing anymore. So, but I'd always loved rap, and rap was what I was listening to 98% of the time at that point anyway, even while singing. So once I couldn't sing anymore, I was okay, well, rap is what I want to do. So that's when I started writing. I didn't even drop any music though for another 5 years until I was 17. So I was writing just writing, and then freestyle. I would like to rap, but I didn't put anything out. Started putting music out when I was 17, started producing a year later, and now we're at where we're at. So
hell yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now, were there any naysayers in the process, or was it, from jump with you something where everyone was just oh shit, you're nice with it? What was that, beginning phase of your rapping career like?
When rapping started for me, I got inspired to start recording when people would hear me rap. So after school would end, I would go down to the Boys and Girls Club, and I had some homies who would freestyle and stuff like that. So I had been writing for this long, but nobody had heard anything. So I just threw one of my verses in there one day. And then the next day I did it again. And the next day I did it again. So I kept then I would just come every day and start rapping. And I would come as a guest too, because I didn't even have a membership.
Yeah.
My homie would sign me in every day, and I would just sit there and rap for people. And then I got pushed to start recording by the people there. They were just yo, you need to we want to hear some music though. So that's when my brother, when he was a freshman in college, he used his work study money, bought me a mic a mic like a bundle with a pop filter, with a USB microphone and some headphones, and I recorded like 5, 7 songs in the middle of in my closet in a studio I made in like junior year of high school. I like set it up on shoe boxes I put in the middle of my clothes, and that's when I recorded. And it was on like Ice Cube instrumentals, Mobb Deep instrumentals, Biggie instrumentals, like shit like that. Put it out on SoundCloud, and that's how I let everybody know that like I'm making music. And
man.
from there, that kind of like people weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that was pretty crazy. I mean, there were naysayers in the process, but back then when people found out about like that I could spit, that was like, that's crazy. That's pretty much what I got from everybody.
Yeah. They were just like, "Oh snap, Ishan's got the bars with it. That's dope. That's dope." Yeah, no, that's very dope to hear. Because a lot of times, I ask that because a lot of times when you want to pursue rap, regardless if you're even good, there's always just gonna be a couple of people who like say some things, but man, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear this. Like you rapping about this shit, rap about that.
Oh yeah, I got that. I've gotten that every week of my career. Every time you should try to make music like this person. I got that a lot in the beginning too, when like I was making my sound. People were trying to direct me into other areas. Were like, "Oh, you should sound like this person. You should rap like this person." And I never it was never something I wanted to do. Like I always just did what I wanted to do. I couldn't take advice, that type of advice.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I guess that just will lead to my next question. Obviously you have that golden era sound. I try to refrain from boom bap. I sure do you mind that? Do you like the term boom bap? Let me ask you that. What do you feel about that term? Kind of any label as long as people don't try to make it seem like it's outdated. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it depends like the way they say it for me. Right. Like boom bap is cool, but if you try to make it seem like boom bap is out, like don't do that. Yeah, just that boom bap, huh? Like if they say it like that,
why you hate this that old school shit. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, I definitely try to call it. I definitely myself avoid calling it old school shit because it's like it's had a big resurgence. I feel in the last 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's always been there. It's just that people just want to focus on listening to trap stuff and. I like all of it, like when it comes to hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But would you ever entertain, rapping over more trap beats or anything of that nature? Or are you just gonna stick into that bag? And I don't think, either way you go, in my opinion, I think it's gonna work. What do you think about that?
I like the more modern stuff. I mean, like that's kind of what if you heard my song D&D. I dropped at the beginning of this year. So that was kind of like my idea with that. For sure. Because I wanted to kind of challenge myself towards like a more modern sound. So yeah, I definitely entertain it, but like I just told you before this, I was right in the studio right here making beats, and I don't know. It's what I feel. It's what I hear when I put because everything you ever heard from me, I produced it. So I have like. It was always, I was trying to express an emotion whenever I came into the studio that day to make a beat. And it was always just what I was feeling. I just make what comes in my head. And that's kind of how I feel. That's kind of what hip hop is to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The best creations are the ones that come naturally. You never want to force things and just be like, oh, I'm going to make this type of song because I should. It's like, no.
No, I've tried and it doesn't work. Like, it never works. Like, I want to make this type of beat and I just can't do it. Like, I just can't. I got to let myself just like, get in the zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to the people who can just make any type of thing and beast at that. But I think there's also specialty and dopeness when you can just create from the heart, whatever feels right, and that feels right. And I think that's a dope way to go about it, man. And when it comes to your production, I gotta ask you, man, because I dabble with the beat making myself too. I've been doing it for a minute. What do you use for your DAW?
It's my favorite question, Ableton.
Ooh, Ableton. All right, man. That's cool. That's cool. I'm not an Ableton user, but I've heard Ableton's the way. I use Logic. I've been Logic only for like forever, and Ableton's the one where it's like if I were to try another one, it would absolutely be not even a question, man. I guess we'll get into a little bit of a beat maker question here, but what do you think it is about Ableton that is just so special and why you see a lot of producers gravitating towards it?
I think it's generally known kind of as like the hard one. You know what I mean? So what I've heard is that like, because I haven't tried out any other DAWs. I don't know a lot about, I don't even know a lot about Logic. I know a lot about FL, like some DAWs, like the really common ones. I think it being like taught as the hardest one, I think there's like a sense of like if you learn Ableton, you can kind of work your way through the other DAWs. So it's kind of easy to kind of just like knock out like every bird with one stone by just learning Ableton. I don't know. Ableton is like incredibly user friendly for me. Like it's hard to learn, but once you grasp it, like you feel so in tune and in like control of what you're doing that like I don't know. I've seen people make beats on FL, like you know how you can like tap where you want that, like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, but like Ableton is just I don't know, it just works. It just feels good when you use it, man.
I hear you. Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, Fruity Loops gets a bad rap. You know, I was watching like this TikTok of this dude. He's not even listening to the beat while he's making it. He is just placing stuff in. It's like mathematics to this guy. And then he puts it all in and then plays it. Yeah, like I don't know how I feel about that.
Like it was the first time I saw it, I was like, oh no, it's kind of cool because
it's cool.
Like, then like I like took a step back and I was like, then like I don't like production is dead. You know what I mean? Like he's not even producing. Like he's not even like going through the sounds. He's just tapping a bunch of things because he know that works. Like I don't. That's like pretty much like asking AI to do it at that point.
I know, right? Yeah, it just feels too formulaic and not like enough soul. Like where's the soul? There's no soul in here.
There's no love in that at all.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh boy, like very impressive. Like, hey, give credit. Like he knows his shit, obviously, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think that would be the way to go about a lot of things. But I mean, that's just one of those things that's funny. Do you sell beats? Do you produce for other people, or you just make beats for yourself?
So I primarily produce for myself, but people know I make beats, so people don't feel afraid to ask. I don't advertise like, oh, go get this one of my beat stars or whatever. But it's like people know I make beats, so if you need a beat, something, they hit me up and we'll chop it up, and you'll get some in your email pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's dope, man. I think that's very, very cool. You know what I mean? And I think I've always been a firm believer that every artist should dabble in an instrument or learn how to play beats, man. Like, I just feel like that just opens your mind more, makes you understand like just how to go about certain things. It's just a mind opener. You know what I'm saying?
I think it helps. Yeah, I think if it helps with anything, it definitely helps with flow, staying on beat, like understanding how the beat is made, where things are placed, all that, like the tempo of everything. Like it, I don't know, it just keeps you so polished once you hear that vocal on it. Like it just sounds, I think it's so much better to understand it or to try something, be an instrument, something.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that, man. Yeah, that's real stuff. But I gotta ask you, man, about with this dope music you be dropping, dog. Let's talk about Impact. Now, this is the song you did a lyric video for, a lyric breakdown for, correct?
Yeah, just dropped that.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I know you have the video for it, that and breaking it down, but just talk about what made you want to make a song like Impact.
So, I mean, I like just rap in general. To me, like my biggest influences are like, and my biggest love of hip hop is New York, like 90s boom bap. Mm-hmm. If we want to use that term, right? So,
so whatever one works for you. Yeah.
that's like just the type of rap that I love. So when I was just like looking for samples and everything to make a beat that day, I heard that sample that loops throughout the whole song. And once I heard that, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Like that, just to me, and I said in the beginning of the lyric video, it told me make a gritty ass hip hop song. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to do. And it was about time, you know what I mean? Because I've been writing, and it was about time that I was able to talk my shit. So It felt good. It felt good when I made that. I still listen to that. Like that song I finished that a little bit ago, like in the summer, and I've been listening to that shit every day. Like that is one of my favorite. Like I definitely did. I did what I wanted to do on that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I was bumping. I was like, whoa. Like, I do going in on this shit, and with the title too, I just think that's just very suiting, man. You know what I'm saying? And you're making a lyric breakdown for your own song, and I thought that was very cool because I'm like, man, like I think more artists should do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's not more artists just making their own lyric breakdown? I know that might seem like a simple question, but what do you think from your perspective that's the case?
So I'm gonna be blunt. I'll say it's two things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering where you're gonna take this.
I'll say it's two things. I think one, it's probably like nervousness, like they're afraid to put that piece of them out because you're not rapping now. I'm talking to the camera. I'm explaining things. Now you're getting it. I'm allowing you into my head. There's probably a sense of some nervousness of letting that out into the world. For sure. That plus laziness. Yeah. I think people just don't want to put in the work. I think people are quite aware of what work needs to get done. And I think there's people who do it and people who don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can maximize. I mean, with that song, we've maximized all the content we could possibly make from it, make out of it. We've exhausted every avenue where we can send it. So now it's in front of everybody's face we can possibly put it in front of. We did all the work required. I think there's people who do that and people who don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the answer, man. I thought you were gonna take it to the different route. Some of these guys ain't got good enough lyrics to break down. I was like, is he gonna say it?
I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody can write with me, but I know I can write, so I'm not afraid to put my lyrics out.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Drop the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think a lot of artists definitely do have some lyrics. So I'm like, man, if you just broke this down, like it would. Like when I look up lyrics on Genius, sometimes I'm like, especially when I can read it and see what's going on, I'm like, okay, I see what's going on.
Because you're now you're understanding the story behind that. It's not just words that sound dope. Like now you understand why I wrote that. Like that's dope.
Exactly. It makes you appreciate the song just a whole lot more. Yeah,
for real.
More, man. Another song I wanted to ask you about, man. I was really messing with this one, Children. And I got a chuckle out of this one, man, because just what you're saying in the chorus. As any girl who had children before freshman year got mad at you for making this song, man? Has anyone met you up person?
Yo, if they've been mad, I mean, I would have known. I mean, they haven't hit me, thankfully. But I mean, I imagine I probably made a couple people mad. But that was I remember when I wrote that hook, that was the first piece of the song that I had wrote. This was when I was working on my most recent album in 2019. So I was going into my sophomore year of college. I just had one more song to finish, and I had been sitting on this beat for a little bit. And I wrote the hook to it, and I sent it to my homie. And we FaceTimed out there, and we were just laughing about it. And I was like, nah, I need to make a song out of this. And then I wrote the song the next day. Yeah, and that song, that music video, that song was just mad fun. Like I had so much fun making the whole thing. Thing.
Yeah, that was one where I was like, "Oh man, like that's a funny chorus right there." I like that. I was like, "That's cool." And I think obviously the girls who relate to that, like, I hear you, because there's some girls who heard. I was like, I know one girl who,
we all know somebody.
We all know somebody in that situation.
Yeah. No, but they were playing that in the parties and everything too, and like it's fun when I see people turn up to that, because it's just like the people who that wouldn't make angry, like they love that shit. Like that's like they're just going crazy to that. So that's a fun song, even to perform too.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, so I was definitely vibing with that one, man. And obviously a song like that would definitely work well live. Your catalogs definitely works well live, and I know a thing or two about performing live, man. You've been all over the country. All over the country doing this, man. And I think it's just very cool to see you, putting on for Boston and repping and doing all that stuff out there, man. I guess through all the shows, what's some things that you've learned about, I guess, how to perform, and I guess yourself from, doing all these stage performances? Because I really do feel that performing live can really teach a lot about you and all that other stuff. So what would you say about that?
Well, I mean, it definitely taught me how bad I want it. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of it was not easy. I mean, if you saw, like, I did a lot of like just dope shows, a lot of big shows and stuff like that, but they weren't always like that. I mean, if you saw my story, like last week, I asked people on my story, like, what was the first time you saw me perform? Yeah. And when somebody like brought back a crazy memory, they were like, I saw you in a New York City nail salon. And that brought back a crazy memory. The first shows I ever did with my manager was in the back of it was this nail salon, but the back of it is converted to like a venue. that holds like maybe like 100, 200 people. It's not like a big venue, crazy in the middle of Queens. Like
that would be in New York. Shout out to New York, but like
no, for real. Shout out New York, but like that. So that was like the first shows we did, and that's when like the weekly traveling started. So like from there to then where we're at with doing shows with Big Daddy Kane, EPMD, and like from there to there was crazy. So it definitely taught me. There were definitely some hard times and a lot of dope times too. It taught me how bad I wanted it. But it also taught me that there's a lot more to being an artist and just making good music.
Yeah.
Like performing is a big deal. Being able to speak is a big deal. Being able to market yourself is a big deal. It's a lot more than just making dope music. Because if you make dope music, you don't know how to sell that. If you don't know how to show that, you don't know how to perform that. It's hard to get behind.
Mm-hmm.
So we traveled a lot and we did a lot of shows, and I learned so much. But applying that to this year, you saw like the type of energy we brought this year.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It's absolutely insane, bro. It's absolutely insane to see, man. And I guess to that point of you saying it's more than just making dope music, I think a lot of times even like the common listener, the fan, they don't realize just how much goes into an artist that is trying to play mysterious or doesn't talk too much, or one that talks a lot. Like they think it's all just natural, but it's like these artists are very much aware of the fact that they have to be a personality in order to attract the fans and to keep a one-time listener into a fan. Like it's deep. It's real deep.
No, it's dope when you can build a persona and an image off of your real self.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I feel that.
But at the same time, that's still a perception that you have to maintain. So even if you took a piece of yourself and that's what your brand is, everybody has multiple different pieces of themselves, but that's the one that made you who you are. So that's still like something you gotta play. That is still like your character essentially. But thankfully, there's real artists, there's not real artists, and this is 100% me. So it's dope that I'm able to keep this up and talk to my fans, and they all know that like this is who I am.
Yeah.
On the inside.
Yeah, that's a good position to be
There's
in.
So much that goes into being an artist, though.
Yeah, man, it's absolutely insane how that is, and like even you being on this podcast, you doing interviews. Some rappers don't want to do interviews. They don't want to talk too much. They don't want to show themselves too much. It's like that's not what a rapper does, and that's I guess an old school way of thinking, because it's like it's 2023, man. Like it's like everybody is
at this point. Like if you're an artist, at this point, if you're an artist coming up, like. People are expecting to know who you are, especially with like the social medias that we have available, like with TikTok being such like a prevalent social media in the industry. And like, that's something that all you have to do is literally put your phone up and talk to the camera. Like people, by the time you pop, like people are expecting to know more about you than just this mysterious artist that doesn't really talk much. So like, it's some shit you got to shake. And honestly, interviews are dope. Like we've done, I don't know if you saw my YouTube channel, we've done a lot of dope interviews, and like, you learn a lot about it's like just the culture, the person you're speaking with. Like it's a dope experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I think a lot more people, artists should entertain those things. I guess being the mysterious artist just looks cool. I guess there's a lore to it that I think some artists like, man, it'd be dope to be that, but it's like just be yourself. Like don't overthink this shit. Like it's not rocket science. Like you know what I'm saying?
For real. Like they like your music and you made your music because you're you. So then giving people more of this who you are is like it's just an extension of your music.
Yeah, and it's a luxury to like not have to talk. Like it's like like the way Kendrick Lamar is right now, or like even someone like The Weeknd. Like those are two artists where it's like you don't hear them talk too much because it's like they're extremely big artists. Like they can get away with.
They don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. Yeah, they could literally disappear and come back. They've
done more than enough.
Not that.
They've earned it.
Yeah. These people are not that. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So like, you got to earn that respect out here. Simple as that. You know what I mean? But Ishan, I gotta ask you though, with all that you got going on, in terms of just planning things, what's some things that you do to plan out your releases, or just like keep up with just all that's going on? Is there certain techniques that you like to do to make sure that everything is placed in the right way? What's some things that you would want to share, that how you go about that?
one thing that's dope about the way we operate is that I have a team.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my saving graces. Like it's helped me out so much. So I have my videographer, who's also my editor, who's also my photographer. So, and my manager. So we sit, we think about ideas, and then so we figure out what song we want to drop. Because I mean, I have an album done, right? Yeah. So we got options of what songs we want to drop. So
I assumed you have a lot of music in the vault. I could just
we got a little bit. So we figure out what song we want to drop, and then from there we want to figure out, we want to get a music video ready. So even if we drop that the same day we drop the song, or we wait, at least we have it ready. It's ready to go. I think a pitch, because you got to send your music out to people. Mm-hmm. That, and then content. How are we going to promote the song? So we figure out, do we want to drop it and then promote it? Or do we want to promote it like a week before drop and then drop it and then keep promoting it? How do you want to go about your release plan, and then figure out how you want to do that? So for us, it's content. It's showing you the song. I'm dropping the song. Here's me rapping it. Here's me performing it. Here's some type of visual representation to it that catches your eye. You're excited for the song now. So that's kind of, we know content is a big deal. So we get the content ready, and we figure out how we want to market the song, how we want to sell the song to whoever needs to hear it, right? To get them on board. We got to make fans. So, from there, and then we just drop the song. So, but you got to come correct with that. You can't just drop a song and then.
I know. I wish it was that way. Yeah, I wish you could just drop a song and just leave it like that. Wouldn't that be just so nice? It's like
that'd be a luxury. That'd be a luxury for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all this stuff goes into dropping a song, man. It's that behind the scenes stuff that people don't see, man. It's like people are like, "Where's the music? Where's the music?" It's like, I just can't drop a song out of nowhere, y'all. Like, I gotta keep this train rolling correctly. I can't.
For real, do you understand what it takes to drop a song? It's a bit once you start taking this shit seriously. Once you get industry, once you get people behind you, like it's a big, like it's a lot more than just like I uploaded the song, go stream it. Mm-hmm. You got some bases you got to cover.
Yeah, and one of the tough things about that too is like, sometimes certain people want to make a song with you, work on a song with you, and it's like, bro, I just can't make a song with anybody. Like, you gotta make sure this shit's good, man. Like, I like you, I do. Yeah.
That's also,
it's a tough situation. Yeah.
Every interview, somebody tries to make me look like an asshole, but nah, for real, like, nah. That's also like once you like start growing a little bit, that does like the possibility to make a song with whoever hits your DM. Like, you gotta start being selective.
Yeah, it's just a reality of collabing at a certain level, obviously. And I mean, in some situations you can get away with working some artists, and sometimes it comes out good enough, or you can work around it. But in certain situations, man, you gotta be tough. And I wouldn't say it's being an asshole. It's just, you gotta protect the brand and do things correctly, man. Like,
at the end of the day, you're making art, right? So like, the art still matters once you collab with somebody, and it's not even your song that you're dropping versus a song that you're gonna drop. It's 100% you. Like, you're still making that art, so you gotta make sure it's good. You gotta protect the brand.
Yeah, simple as that, man. Protect the brand, man. For real.
For real.
Ishan, what's some other things you got on the way that you want to share for the people, man? What can they expect from you going into 2023? Well,
next year we're going crazy. Next year we're going crazy. I'll tell you that. So we got an album ready. I'm not gonna tell you what you've heard from the album. I'm not gonna tell you what you haven't heard from the album. Album's ready to go though. So, and this is definitely gonna shake shit up. So I'm excited for that. I'm 100% produced by me. It's just
that's crazy, by the way. Like, let's just that's crazy. All right, we gotta just stop and let the people know how nuts that is to produce a whole album on your own. Like,
that means a lot, man.
Salute to you on that.
That means a lot. Yeah. Appreciate you, bro. So that's just gonna that one's called Ego. And the album is gonna go crazy. So I'm excited for that. Crazy visuals, big shows. I'm excited. I actually got a meeting tomorrow to go over a pretty big show to start the year off. So I'm excited. But we're gonna keep the ball rolling. I mean, we got the momentum, we got a fire under us, and we got to keep that lit. So we're just ready to keep putting the work in. I mean, when we end this podcast, my videographer's coming over. We're better shoot content the rest of the night. So I mean, the work does not stop.
Nah, man, not at all.
And it shouldn't. No. We signed up for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 24-hour, 7 days a week type job, man. I don't think people understand the sacrifice that is put into doing this. I mean, it looks sexy and it looks fun to be a rapper, but it really is. It's hard for fucking work, man. Like,
it's hard fucking work, and you got to put in the work to make it look like that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So this should definitely. I mean, this once you start taking it seriously, it proves who wants it and who doesn't. You might want the look, but you might not want it bad enough to put in the work. But some people will put in the work.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, it's just it. Yeah, straight up, man. Straight up. I love to hear it, man. Ishan, I got one more question for you before one more question, big one before we wrap this up, man. I ask this to every guest that I have on my show because I think every artist has something very much of value to bring with this one. But what is some advice that you would give to an artist that's starting out? What's some advice that you wish someone gave you when you started out? What would you say?
My biggest advice to everybody is this only stops when you allow it to stop. A failure only comes when you decided that it's a failure. Only person that's going to stop you in this whole road, regardless of who tells you you're whack, regardless of who tells you you're dope, only person that's going to stop you is you. So once you start, be ready to start and keep going.
Yeah. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Yeah, because you don't want to overcomplicate things, and people really do make something out of nothing. So I think that's a very good point, man. And I'm glad you share that with the people and a whole bunch of other things that I think a lot of artists and a lot of just music listeners can learn a lot from. So I appreciate you for being on TempahZone podcast, Ishan.
Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Yes. Where can the people reach you? Where can they follow you? Where you want them to find you?
So get me on all social medias at Ishan the Rapper, ISHAN the Rapper. Get me on all streaming platforms at Ishan. And let's keep going. My YouTube, Ishan Official. Let's keep it running. Let's keep going.
Very, very dope YouTube channel. Very good follow, y'all. Make sure y'all
Appreciate
do that.
You, bro.
Yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of TempahZone Podcast. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Yes, sir.